Nimmer with the Food Channel, and I'm speaking with Chef Haley, who is the corporate executive chef for the Ralph Brennan Restaurant Group. We have some, probably the largest shrimp that I have ever seen. Tell me about
These are beautiful. These shrimp are from Grand Isle, Louisiana, and they're 9/12, which means there's about 9 to 12 per pound. There are shell on and head on, which is very important for this recipe. The heads actually contain a lot of fat, and as you're cooking it kind of melts down and it adds a lot of flavor to the dish.
And you said Grand Isle, so how important is it to use local?
It's extremely important, especially I know for our restaurant group, our philosophy is we use as much local as we possibly can.
All right, so you said you cook these with everything on them.
That's correct.
And you cook the head because it has the fat in it. Now, do people eat this?
Well, some people do, but you know, especially on these very large shrimp, they can have some large barbs at the top, as you see on yours, which are pretty pointy and dangerous. But what a lot of people will do is when you're eating the barbecued shrimp is you pull the head off and you kind of crunch it and suck the fat that's in the head out.
And you said the shell stays on in the cooking process.
It
now,
does.
what's the purpose of that?
Well, it's kind of neat because what'll happen is some of that sauce and you'll see the Worcestershire sauce and the beer gets underneath the shell and basically kind of steams the shrimp inside the shell. It really makes the integrity of the shrimp nice, and they don't kind of shrink up and get rough edges on them. And I just think it's a really nice way to cook the shrimp.
Lots of wonderful smells coming from over here. Tell me what we're gonna make today.
All right, this is a great New Orleans dish. It's one of my favorite recipes to do. It's one of the first things I learned how to cook when I came to the city as an extern, and I love it. And it's a great dish too because I think it is something that somebody can do at home. That is just, it's very quick. It's easy to do. The most important thing is you just got to find the right shrimp.
The right shrimp.
So we're going to be making a dish called barbecued shrimp.
Okay.
And there's lots of different styles of barbecued shrimp in New Orleans, kind of like gumbo. Everybody's got their own little twist on it.
Right.
The one thing I really like about this particular recipe for barbecued shrimp is that the butter is emulsified into the sauce. So you get this great sauce for taking bread and dipping into it, which is just as good as eating the shrimp.
Right, yeah. Give me some bread and some sausage.
So, and it's made with Creole seasoning and black pepper and some fresh garlic. We put a little Abita Amber beer in there, a little fresh lemon, and then we're going to finish it with some butter.
Okay, so we're back at the grill now, and Chef, walk me through what we're gonna do.
Okay, let's start by adding the shrimp to the pan. So we're going to add about 7 or 8 shrimp just to kind of fill the bottom of this pan. And this is already on heat, so it's a hot pan. There you go.
Oh my gosh, they're already starting to turn pink. Probably cook pretty fast, don't they?
They do. This is again, it's a very quick dish, and it's a great way to tell when they're done is when they get pretty pink like that.
Is that enough?
That's fine. Right now we're going to add the Abita Amber. So you're going to add a couple of ounces. Just kind of swirl it around the pan. It's going to steam up on you because the pan's already hot. There we go. Okay, now let's add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, maybe a couple tablespoons or so. There you go. Now we're going to add some Creole seasoning.
How much of this?
We're going to add maybe two teaspoons of that, and you just sprinkle them all around the shrimp. And it's going to look like a lot of seasoning, but you'll see as we finish this dish.
Cajun dishes are supposed to be a little spicy, right?
Let's add a little bit of cracked black pepper. I'm going to add a little more beer.
Okay.
One more. There you go.
You're gonna add a little more
Add
beer?
a little more beer. There you go. Keep going.
Good?
Yep. Okay, now let's add our fresh chopped garlic, about a teaspoon of that. Let's add a little bit more of that. That looks good. Okay. Now you're going to take,
Half lemon?
yep, half a lemon, squeeze it right over, and then drop the whole lemon in
You're gonna cook it with the...
with the lemon.
All right.
There's a
Gonna cook it
lot
with
of
the
great
lemon.
oil in the skin of that lemon. And so when you put it in the hot pan, it kind of brings the lemon oil out and flavors the dish.
In the middle or just anywhere?
Just drop it anywhere. Now let this kind of reduce down.
Okay.
And you can see how the shrimp are starting to turn pink.
I wish you guys could smell this, like the Creole seasoning and the black pepper and then that little squirt of lemon juice and the shrimp.
Okay, so now we're going to flip the shrimp over because they're cooked about halfway. You see how they're all kind of turning pink around the edges?
Yep.
You want to flip them all over.
Oh my gosh, they're looking pretty good. Ooh. Ah.
gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit here.
Now we get to add the butter.
Now we're gonna add butter. And as I'm adding the butter, you just need to continuously stir.
Okay.
Because this is an emulsified sauce, so you want to keep it moving, otherwise the butter will break out.
Okay.
All right. This is unsalted butter, and it's very important that you use unsalted butter in this dish. And what's kind of interesting is you haven't really seen us add salt anywhere in this dish. But
Right.
in the Creole seasoning, there's quite a bit of salt, so that's where your salt's kind of coming from, and from the Worcestershire sauce. The sauce is kind of getting
Yes.
thickening and kind of creamy looking, and it's got that nice sheen from the butter. We're there. So again, once you add the butter, that's the only time that you really don't want to walk away from the dish.
Right.
Kind of stand here and give it a little look. All right.
What's next? We have an empty plate, and I think we
That's
should
right.
probably fill
Now
it.
it's time for the fun part. You get to eat it. So we're gonna go ahead and finish squeezing the lemon just to give it a little extra. We'll get rid of that. And then very simply, you just want to kind of pile the shrimp up.
Wow. Beautiful.
We're gonna get all the sauce. All the butter.
Yes, all the butter.
Okay. And then at the restaurants, we usually serve it with a little bit of grilled bread to go with it, or you can use just plain French bread. And then we're going to add a little parsley just to give it a little color.
So over the last couple of days, we've been talking a lot about the safety of the seafood down here, and I think the best way to see if it's okay to eat is probably to taste it.
Proof's in the pudding.
Proof is in the pudding. So how do we eat these?
Well, this is a really fun dish to eat because again, we've cooked it with the shell on.
Right.
So this is a roll your sleeves up and get messy dish. So what you do is you pick one up. Right? And what you're going to do is you're going to twist the head off, and you see that orange?
Yep.
That's all fat. And as I said, a lot of people suck it.
And just kind of,
There you go. We got a little shell bowl here.
you guys got to get down to New Orleans before I eat all of the shrimp in the Gulf. For the Food Channel, I'm Kristen Niebuhr.